Hello and welcome to the very second episode of Culture Talk, where we'll be talking about what role do you think movies should play in society. We have Moran, who's the marketing manager of IDC, and we have Peter Walsh, who is one of the newest members of the crew, and he's from Ireland. All three of us live in Korea. Special perspective on Korean cinema.
I think it's a bit different from the Western editing, so I like somehow the creativity of it. I like how they merge the styles, because you don't have like a full sad movie, full horror movie, full like comedy movie.
And about 60% of the movies I read are romantic, which I don't particularly like. Before in college I studied French cinema.
So can you describe French cinema in 30 seconds?
French cinema is fantastic because they started everything, like the Nouvelle Vague in the 60s. That was the French New Wave, so everybody like Tarantino, Steve Buscemi, Tim Burton, they all copied that genre. A lot of modern Hollywood techniques are just ripped off from French cinema.
We have to choose between a Hollywood movie and a French movie. People will still choose the Hollywood movie, but if we can watch two movies, we're gonna watch at least one American movie and one French movie. We like our cinema, but there's some genre we're all good with.
But what's your perception of American movie culture?
Probably most of my favorite films are from America, so I can't say anything quite bad about it, even if they have copied techniques from around the world. I think there's a lot of great directors there.
Wodan, do you agree that Hollywood movies are just candy?
No, some movies are really good, but it's true that in America everything is about the show, everything is about entertainment. There is a superficial part of it on every American movie, and in some of them, if you dig a little deeper, you find like something. We would like to know your point of view, Mr. American.
I think there's nothing wrong with commercial films. There's good commercial films and there's bad commercial films. As a film student, I'm very picky about films. I think a lot of movies are losing their substance because they concentrate too much on the special effects. Special effects is just a tool. Budget is just a tool to tell a story. The problem is if it becomes about the tool and not about what the core of what movie should be, and that's just telling a story. Do you think Hollywood movies are too commercial?
We take in a lot more American movies.
Lots of crap gets put out there just through distribution companies. They have the large budget. They can sell even stuff that's not even good.
I think the directors succeed to take away a lot of the cultural, like typical American values from this movie and kind of replace them by universal values. So those movies are quite universal. That's why they succeed to export as much, and people from all around the world can see them and somehow identify to them.
American commercial movies have to appeal to an international audience. Peter, do you think French movies are too artsy?
I think they are quite arty, but in a good way. But often they reflect society and politics and French society a lot. Perhaps the French movies are catered for a French audience.
Usually in America, I just think of dubbing as always being bad, but apparently in France, there's even voices that you could recognize.
They'll use like the same voice for Tom Hanks for every interview, every movie, every animation. So when they hear Tom Hanks speak English, it shocks them.
Since we're all living in Korea, the four movies that kind of come to mind when I think of the most popular are Old Boy, first of all, The Host, and Snowpiercer, My Sassy Girl. The stereotype of Korean movies is that they're all sappy dramas about romance, and the girl always dies at the end from cancer. And there's a lot of truth in that. That's a cliche in Korea. But if you watch a lot of the art films in Korea, the most famous directors, their themes tend to be quite dark. What role do you think movies should play in society? Before you answer that question, I have a quote. Cinema attendance can have independent and robust effects on mental well-being because visual stimulation can cue a range of emotions, and the collective experience of these emotions through the cinema provides a safe environment in which the cinema is unique in that it is a highly accessible social art form. At the same time, attending the cinema allows for the exercise of personal preferences and the human need for distinction. In a nutshell, cinema attendance can be both a personally expressive experience, good fun, and therapeutic at the same time.
It depends on the target, because if the movie target really only the local audience, I would say that it has a goal like maintaining the local culture.
But let me make the question a little bit more simple. Should movies have nutritional value? Or should they be just cotton candy?
Of course, they should have nutritional values. It should be entertaining at the same time, but it should be a substance. If it's just for the sake of entertainment, we have reality shows.
I think there has to be two. There's both is possible. On the one hand, like if it's just a romantic movie, the actor's aware of that, then the film goer can feel happy after watching the movie. But if the actor's taking on something like Oscar Schindler or Nelson Mandela, then they have to have a certain responsibility how they portray that character nationally and internationally.
So it should be communicating ideas, and not just ideas that we want to hear, that are comfortable for us, but ideas that can open society's minds up. Fortunately, we have that strong independent movement, which Hollywood later borrows from, and that pushes forward innovation in how we communicate.
We all agree that movies should share ideas and give messages, but usually you need money for that. So it's going to be people from big companies, or it's going to be government.
Cinema can help us cope with our emotional and physiological issues.
For an example of that is one time I watched the extras of The Shawshank Redemption. There's like thousands of followers that watch that religiously, like several times a month, because it offers them great hope. If you keep watching like depressing movies or horror movies too much, that can have a negative influence, I think.
For example, blonde women, because I suffer from the stereotype. So there's a lot of stereotypes like that. Movie helps maintaining, and so people are just like keep watching this movie. They're gonna think it's reality, and it's not reality.
Peter and Moran, thank you for being on the show. And
thank you, Brian.
Expect another episode of Culture Talk to be coming out in 1 month. Thank you for watching, and please subscribe and access our community on Twitter and Facebook. We will see you again soon. Have a nice day.